From Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where tonight the NFC Western Division title will be decided and the playoff picture in the NFC will become much more clear. The Los Angeles Rams will meet the San Francisco 49ers. It's a simple scenario. The winner will be champion of the NFC West and has next week off. The loser becomes a wild card and plays Washington in Washington next week, December the 28th. The Rams are led by the incomparable Eric Dickerson. Eric has rushed for over 1,750 yards this season. He's big, strong, fast, durable, all those things. But the 49ers for the past 3 years have had success, if in not stopping him, at least in keeping the damage to a minimum. The 49ers' hopes tonight are in the hands of their gifted quarterback Joe Montana. Along with head coach Bill Walsh, this team totally believes in Montana. He's had big games in the past against the Rams. The feeling is tonight he'll need one of his best performances ever if the 49ers are to defeat the Rams. It's a bitter rivalry that's rich in NFL history, and you'll see it renewed tonight for the Western Division Championship of the NFC here on ABC. To move closer for Frank Corral to put up another three, but they have the big gun of Vince Ferragamo. We have already seen it. He's not afraid to use it either. Under pressure, steps into the pocket. There he got it. Sprinting. Thrown is Preston Bernard. About this. Oh. Solomon. Bubba Paris gets a block for Solomon. Big Bubba Paris. Springs Solomon. No flags. Montana. Rice is there. Great concentration by Montana. And the 49ers meet for the championship of the NFC West. Their rivalry over the years, and perhaps in the 73 times they have met in the past, nothing has been on the line quite like it is tonight.
As we look at John Robinson, who is trying to guide his Rams into the playoffs in each of his first 4 seasons as a head coach, the winner gets a week off. The loser goes to Washington and has a much tougher road to the Super Bowl. Bill Walsh has seen his team remain in contention the last couple of weeks by knocking off the Jets and then holding on to beat New England last week in Foxborough, while the Rams were losing in overtime to Miami. And that sets it up for this game with the two clubs separated by a half game in the standings. The half game difference, of course, the result of the Rams with a mark a half a game better than San Francisco because of the tie to Atlanta. And Wershing kicks off to LA, taken by Mickey Sutton at the 4 and dropped, and he comes back out to the 17. And the Rams will begin there as Torrey Nixon makes the tackle. Jim Everett has given the Rams the extra dimension. Offensively, they have been, through the past few years, basically a one-dimensional team, and that one dimension has been Dickerson. But now it's a different story. Barry Redden missed last week's Miami game with a flu. He's back. House, Ellard, and Hill. And House and Ellard were not with the team the last time these two clubs faced each other. And the guys up front, Smith, Hara, and Slater, are all going to the Pro Bowl. A great offensive line. 1st and 10, LA. The crowd is raucous already. And the fake to Dickerson. And the pass is behind Hill and incomplete. He tried to go to the tight end, who was covered by Ronnie Lott, and the pass thrown behind him. 2nd down and 10. For the 49ers, Carter has a bad ankle, and that has really hurt him. Ford and Tuiasosopo outside. Stover is hurt. McCall, Ellison, Fonhorst, and Turner's having a good year. The two cornerbacks are rookies, and then there's Williamson at strong safety, and Ronnie Lott with 9 interceptions is the free safety. 2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. Dickerson and Redden are the splitbacks. And again, the new Rams with Everett throwing to Redden, but popped at the 14-yard line by Carlton Williamson.
The old 49ers, they play defense and they play it well, and I'd like to have the numbers on how many times the Rams have opened up a football game under John Robinson with 2 consecutive passes. They believe in the run, they believe in Dickerson, they believe that they have a developing quarterback in young Jim Everett. But they came here tonight to run Dickerson. And they will run Dickerson as long as they are in a type of a ball game in which they can run him. That's just to get the 49ers' attention that they put a couple up in the air.
3rd down and 13 with House and Young wide to the left. Ellard wide to the right. And it's Dickerson for a gain of 4, and the Rams will have to punt. The ball is loose, but the ground caused the fumble. The Rams maintaining possession, and on comes the punting unit. And the crowd, normally raucous anyway at Candlestick Park, but especially so at the outset of tonight's game. A 5 o'clock start under very cloudy skies, and it's been raining off and on, but the field has been covered, so the field is dry and in good shape, all things considered. Griffin to accept the punt, back at the 40. Dale Hatcher, who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie last year, to kick. And a good kick. Fielded at the 34-yard line. And Griffin slips down at the 41. As Montana leads the 49ers out for the first time. You all know Joe's story. Played in the opener at Tampa Bay, then the back surgery, and then the miraculous comeback with Cribbs and Craig, the running backs. Both had good days at New England. Clark and Rice is going to the Pro Bowl, and Francis, the tight end. And up front, we'll see about Ayers, because he's been gimpy with a bad knee, and Guy McIntyre is going to get the start at left guard instead of Ayers. Montana to the air. Dumps one off. Cribbs makes the catch, and it's hit out the 45-yard line by Reggie Doss and Vince Newsom. The Rams defensively, Reed, Miller, and Doss, this a very good defense despite being shredded last week by Marino, but everybody gets shredded by Marino. Eckern having a good year and finally getting his just due. He'll be going to the Pro Bowl in Honolulu. And the corners, Gray and Irvin, with Cromwell and Newsom, the safeties. Jeter is in for the pass rush on 2nd and 7, and Montana goes an out pattern complete at the 37 of LA to his favorite target, Jerry Rice, number 80.
Beautiful shot by Montana over the linebacker. He had to drop it in over the linebacker. He did it beautifully. Rice put the pressure on the cornerback, driving him back. They were playing in a zone. The youngster Jerry Gray, who is having such a fine year, but it was a perfectly timed pass between Montana and Rice. The Rams were shredded last week, Al, but they got away from what they like to play, and that is a zone, a containing defense. You won't see as much man-for-man tonight as they used against Miami last week. That's what killed them.
From the 37, it's Roger Craig, and Craig close to a first down to the 27-yard line. Craig, who was slowed earlier this year with a hip injury, has rounded into forms, and to form, and he has been what he was the last couple of years in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Just in the last couple of weeks as he come around, what a difference it makes in their offense. Last week against New England, 86 yards rushing, 89 receiving. Those are Roger Craig's numbers, as you see the mark ball at the 27-yard line. But Cribbs also had over 100 yards rushing last week. When you can run the football like that, Montana is going to pick on you beautifully. He will throw underneath. They are very conservative under Bill Walsh in the sense that they play high percentage football all the time.
2nd and inches, and Cribbs gets the first down and takes it down to the 24-yard line. He is stopped by Carl Eckern, number 55. Wendell Tyler still bothered by a bad knee. Tyler, in fact, had been waived and then brought back when Cribbs was hurt a few weeks ago. But Cribbs is healthy again, and now Tyler is on the bench and to be only used in an emergency.
Cribbs does all the same things as Tyler did so well for a couple of years here after being traded from the Rams. Good receiver out of that backfield, as well as a fine runner.
Tom Rathman comes in the game now. He's the fullback, and he goes out into the pattern, and the pass to the far side is completed the 15-yard line to Jerry Rice. And Rice, in his second year with San Francisco, has had some great days against LA in particular.
He's just so fast, you have no idea what he's going to do. He plants the foot, cuts off at square, and the defensive back, in this case, Leroy Irvin, has got to think, he's down there close to the goal line, he's got to think that he is going to take it, plant it from the outside, and take it on a drive to the post. And when you're down there that close, you've got to play him tight.
Crowd upset, not getting a penalty as Rice got jostled at the end of the play. two tight ends are in. And Cribbs gets pulled down by Eckern after taking it to the 13.
Rams get tough down here. Very strong defense.
A first down. So a good drive after the Rams had been held without a first down and forced to kick. Montana leading San Francisco from its own 41-yard line, quickly down to the Rams 12. Early first quarter, no score in a game to determine the NFC West champion. Clark wide left, Rice to the right, with Craig 33 and Cribbs 28. Montana for Rice and throws it away.
Threw it away because he recognized right away it was double coverage. Jerry Gray was underneath and coming across with Johnny Johnson, and the Rams are lining up 4-down line. And earlier in the year, they tried to play kind of a 3-3-5, and the Rams were fairly successful. At that time, the quarterbacks were a little different. Jeff Kipp was quarterbacking for the 49ers, Steve Bartkowski for the Rams. Everett was home holding out from Houston, and Montana, of course, was headed toward back surgery. Different cast here tonight.
2nd and 10. Clark is the sole wide receiver. He's to the left, and the swing pass is caught by Craig, who tries to cut it back inside, and is stopped near the line of scrimmage as Vince Newsom, number 22, comes up to hit him, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 9.5 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Rams defensively, one of the finest teams around in stopping everything on the outside. You don't beat them with things to the outside. Where you can beat them with the big back, up the middle, the kind of back that, honestly, the 49ers don't have. Those are the backs that have hurt them in the past. The quick ones to the outside have not hurt them. They are a great pursuing defensive team.
Rice to the left, Clark to the right. 3rd and 10. Over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Tipped by Sean Miller, number 98. So on 3rd and 10, in comes Wershing in the field goal unit, and it will be about a 30-yard attempt.
It's kind of Rams defense. They'll give you a lot of things in front of them, but they will take anything deep away from you. That is John Robinson's philosophy. It is a sort of an umbrella type defense. Keep it all in front of you. They got away from it last week, and Marino just ate them alive with 403 yards and 5 touchdowns. They are back to it tonight, and they will stay with it.
Wershing, as is his custom, not looking up. Reaching out, you can see him touching his holder, Mike Koroski. And even though he never looked, his sights were perfectly set for a 30-yard field goal, and the 49ers take the lead with 9:06 to play in the first quarter.
Pops it through. 25 of 34 now in the year. We did it, didn't we? 49ers, and they have used up over 5 minutes of the first quarter.
San Francisco, Al Michaels and Frank Gifford at Candlestick Park, where the 49ers take a 3-0 lead. Quarter, Ray Wershing kicking off, and it's Mickey Sutton for his second run back. From the 4, he comes out to the 25-yard line, and so Jim Everett, who did not pick up a first down along with the Rams offense on their first possession, goes at it for the second time, 1st and 10 from the 24.
And we are about to get a major dose of Eric Dickerson. 49ers have been tough against the run, particularly the last 3 games. They've given up only 111 yards rushing. Rams came out on their first series, opened up with 2 pass attempts. That really is not John Robinson football.
1st and 10, LA from the 25-yard line. Dickerson rechecking with Everett. And they call his number. And through the middle for only a couple, stopped by Mano Tuiasosopo. And through the years, the 49ers have held Dickerson in relative check. He has not had huge days against San Francisco. He said decent days, but not great.
Oddly enough, his first 2 games as a rookie, he was over 100 yards. Since then, he has been close to 100, but not over 100. And there, of course, the Pro Bowl representatives, 7 of them from the Rams, 3 of them on that right side of the offensive line from the center out.
2nd and 9. And with Redden in motion, he leads the way for Dickerson, who cuts it back and is tackled by Lott out of the 29-yard line. No fumble, ground causing it. And it will be 3rd down. Meanwhile, with 7 Rams, just 2 49ers. Jerry Rice, the wide receiver, And the man who just made the tackle, who's been playing hurt all season, Ronnie Lott. Isn't it funny, if you looked in the paper yesterday when the teams were announced, the Cowboys have none and the Colts have 3. 3rd and 6 from the 29. Everett hit as he throws, but completes it to Darren Long. Formerly with the LA Express and the USFL. Darren Long makes the catch and picks up the first down.
Good read, too, by Everett. 49ers were bringing the 4 down lineman. He held on to it and waited until Long, the tight end, uncovered. This is Everett's 5th start, and there's no question there is going to be a very bright future for this young man.
LA with its first down, 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Fake to Dickerson. Good protection. Going deep for House. Batted away at the last moment. Tim McKyer, the rookie cornerback, was beaten on the play, but got the hand up and batted it away.
Good protection for Everett. He had the ball right there. Great effort by McKyer. Good blocking, though. Everett stepped up, has a strong arm, had it right in stride. McKyer never even looked back, but he read the eyes of House. And when House looked up, he knew the ball was there. He didn't even look back. That would have slowed him down. Had he looked back, that would have been a completion.
2nd and 10 from the 41. Dickerson to the 43-yard line. The opposition has been going McKyer's way a lot in recent times. The 2 rookie cornerbacks, McKyer and Griffin. And if one has been more proficient than the other to this point, Griffin would be the man.
Of course, the great Eric Wright, perhaps one of the best defensive backs in the league, as we look at head coach John Robinson, suffering from a very bad back today. It's questionable whether he was even going to get to the stadium, but Eric Wright has been missing all season long, and they have consequently started rookies on the corner all season long.
On 3rd and 6 from the 43-yard line. Everett to Long again, but he is stopped well shy of the first down as Torrey Nixon, the nickelback, came in to stop him at the 45, and the Rams to punt again.
Nixon, of course, was the Redskins' top pick of a year ago. Had a fine year playing as that nickel man for the 49ers. At least the Rams got it up near midfield where they can punt away and that start the 49ers at least somewhere in their own territory.
Griffin back at his own 10-yard line. Hatcher's second kick. 6 minutes to go in the quarter. 3-0 49ers. Short kick. Very short.
Oh.
And takes a 49er bounce as it's down at the 28-yard line. And there's a flag down as Rathman got caught up with one of the Rams. And we have our first penalty. Dick Jorgensen is the referee. 23-yard punt.
Not what Dale Hatcher had in mind. Rams have moved it up close to midfield. They would have liked to put the 49ers somewhere down around their 20-yard line.
Flag appeared to come after the play was whistled dead.
Personal foul, face mask, 15 yards, number 32, kicking team during the run back. First down.
Tim Terrell recently picked up, special teams player and also reserve running back who spelled Redden last week. And that will bring it out to the 45 of San Francisco when we come back. The winner of this game again, a week off, and then into either Chicago or New York in the first round of the NFC playoffs. As you look at Ronnie Lott, the loser, meanwhile, goes to Washington next week. And the 49ers have already been there. That was one of our Monday night games, that nearly 4-hour-long confrontation, which Washington won 14-6. Cribbs picks up about 4, taking it to the 49-yard line. Mark Giroux, number 59, making the tackle.
Cribbs had some great years up with Buffalo before leaving for the USFL. He has given Bill Walsh the kind of offense that Wendell Tyler and Roger Craig gave him when they were both healthy. In other words, you can move the ball on the ground. You can move it here and there. It makes that short passing game, the controlled passing game that Bill Walsh loves so well. It makes it so effective.
2nd and 6. And it's Cribbs again, skirting to the outside. And Cribbs fights his way to the 44-yard line for a first down.
And he came close to popping that one. Good blocking out in front of Cribbs. Fine blocking offensive line for the 49ers. Let's watch it again. Pulling right guard, Randy Cross out in front. Roger Craig, the lead block. You saw Cross take the linebacker Owens to the outside. Now Cribbs has a daylight right here, and it's Cromwell who saves it. That could have been a big one. It might have been a 6-pointer.
1st and 10, 49ers at the Ram 44. 3-0 San Francisco. Fake draw. Montana going long for Rice, who's out in front, and Rice with a flag down makes the catch for the touchdown.
What an effort.
With interference and all, he still holds on.
They were hanging all over him. His 15th touchdown. He gets by Jerry Gray in the zone. There should be a deep pickup. That's Johnny Johnson, number 20. Cromwell's on the other side, number 21. He will do the interfering. Rice, great concentration, coming down with his 15th touchdown catch of the year. What a remarkable young receiver he's turned into.
And he juggled and held on, and you can see Johnny Greer, the field judge, had to come over for a better look to see if he had maintained possession. Jerry Rice for the score.
He had
Worshing to kick.
That was his 15th reception touchdown. He had one on a reverse earlier.
And the 49ers come out blazing.
Came into tonight. Nearly 1,500 yards. He's over that. Montana just put it up there as far as he could. He knew the Rice could get under it. The Rams had the perfect zone defense. They were on either side of him. They had tried to slow him up near the line of scrimmage. They missed him. Johnny Johnson, Nolan Cromwell could do nothing about it.
49ers on top by a score of 10-0. Scoring on their first 2 drives, and Ray Wershing kicks off for already the 3rd time. A very short kick. Sutton from the 14 brings it back to the 28. And the Rams with their 3rd possession now. 1st and 10 at the Los Angeles 28 with 4:23 to go in the period.
We'll look at it one more time as Montana with good time to throw the ball, puts it up, splits the zone. Rice is there. Now all he has to do is have possession when he crosses the goal line. He can drop it, he can kick it, he can do anything he wants to. But once he has possession and crosses the goal line, that's 6 points. Super effort.
Montana had gone 2.5 games without throwing a touchdown. 1st and 10 LA from the 28-yard line as Dickerson out past the 30, runs it out to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. One of the most prestigious, probably the most prestigious award for a 49er to win would be what they call the Len Eschmont Award. It goes to the man known as the most inspirational 49er, and Montana was the recipient this week. And it's so important and so prestigious because your peers vote you the honor. And Montana, surprised and in turn elated that he was thought so highly of by his teammates. On 2nd down and 6, it's Redden looking one way and then going the other and turning a no gain into a gain of a couple out to the 35-yard line. Stopped by Farnhurst.
Not exactly how you draw it up, but it is effective as Redden gets to the outside. And they missed Redden last week against Miami. He didn't play because of the flu. He's an excellent blocker, but he also will give you at least a little bit of a relief runner back there. Last week against Miami, the only running back they used was Eric Dickerson.
3rd down, a long 3 at the 35-yard line. Rams with just 1 first down in the game thus far. Everett. Drop. Darren Long. Can't hold it at the 45, and Hatcher will have to come out to kick for the 3rd time in the period. Jeff Fuller defending on the play.
This has been great defense thus far on the part of the 49ers. Dickerson, if he gets by the line of scrimmage, is squeezing out 2, 3, or 4 yards, and that's what they have to do, is string it out, particularly when he goes wide, and they've been doing it so well.
Hatcher, who's had a 47-yard kick and a 23-yarder, standing at his 20. Griffin, it's a low kick, and Griffin lets it bounce, and it takes a sideways bounce and is down to the 33. So again, the 49ers take over in decent shape from the 33-yard line after a 34-yard punt. The 49ers have had the football twice. Ray Wersching kicked a field goal to culminate the first drive, and then Jerry Rice caught a 44-yard touchdown pass from Montana to culminate the second. They have the ball back at the 33 with a 10-0 lead. Late first quarter. Craig turns the corner to the 40 and close to a first down. Run out of bounds at the 42-yard line by number 55, Carl Eckern.
Eckern coming from the middle, that middle linebacking spot on the inside, fighting off blockers all the way. Bubba Paris got a good block. It enabled Craig to turn that corner, and he's up very close to the first down. We're going to get the measurement. Eckern on his way to the Pro Bowl.
After 10 years in the league, finally getting the recognition. First time he's been to the Pro Bowl. And just enough for the first down. By the way, that last touchdown pass from Montana to Rice, Jerry scoring his 16th touchdown of the year, 15 through the air and 1 on the ground, and that's a new 49er record. San Francisco at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Rice is split to the left with 2 tight ends in on the right side. Frank is 86, Francis 81, and Montana throws to Francis, and Russ takes it to the 40 of LA for a first down. And so the 49ers mixing it up with Craig and Cribbs out of the backfield and Rice and Francis on the receiving end.
49ers have every gear functioning at the moment. They can run the ball. We've seen that with Cribbs and Craig both being able to pick up good yardage on the ground. And when you're thinking stop the run, those cornerbacks have got to be thinking, I've got to come up and think run. Once you can get them thinking that, you can do pretty much what you want to do, particularly in Bill Walsh's offense. That underneath passing game, it just becomes so much more effective.
Rathman is in the game to provide blocking, which never exists on that play, as Cribbs is stopped for no gain, and there's a flag down. And it's against San Francisco. And Bubba Paris is the man who's injured. He was hurt earlier this season and was spelled by Bruce Colley.
And when he came back, he made a major difference to the offensive unit of the 49ers. Keep in mind now, Bubba Paris is the injured 49er. John Ayers
holding
starting.
Number 62, offense, still first down.
That's Guy McIntyre, who is filling in for an injured John Ayers, who can't play either. He has an injured knee. So if they lose Paris, that will mean the entire left side of that offensive line will be new people.
And it would mean Bruce Colley would be there to spell him. Tina Turner, meanwhile, had gone back to the dressing room, the linebacker, for one reason or another, but he is returning. But of more, and at least that's an encouraging sign as he gets up and trots off.
That's a lot of up, too, about 300 pounds of it. Kind of nodded his head like we're going to see a lot more of Bubba Paris. Slide rule to figure that one out.
But it's a big one regardless for New England.
This guy has to fall for Miami to win it.
1st and 20 after the penalty, and it's batted and nearly intercepted. Eckern got his hand on it, batted it up, incomplete, 2nd and 20.
That time a lot of pressure on Montana, and that's what the Rams need to do. If they let him sit back there and pick away at them with the kind of offense they have, he is going to kill them. He'll carve them up like a surgeon. And a lot of pressure from Sean Miller right in the middle. That's what they need to do, because the linebackers, the cornerbacks, are all thinking run, because the 49ers have been able to run. They can't get back and help out on the pass when they're thinking run.
Second down and 20 from the 50-yard line. Craig to the 48 as he crosses midfield, and it will be third down and 17, and Bubba Parrish is on his way back into the game.
He'll be welcome back into that huddle.
He thanks Collie for the breather and resumes his normal station. Third down call at 18 with that much time remaining in the first quarter, which has belonged to the 49ers. They lead 10-0. Francis in motion. And Francis takes the pass at the 44 and is bumped back to the 45-yard line. And San Francisco will have to kick as Jerry Gray comes in to make the tackle, along with Mark Giroux. Jerry Gray, a man who will be going to the Pro Bowl in his second year out of Texas. Max Runniger to kick for the first time tonight. And dropping back for the Rams, Henry Ellard is one Ram, and they also send Johnny Johnson back with him.
Ellard really hasn't picked up where he left off a year ago as one of the best, if not the best, punt return man in the league. He has as a receiver, but thus far he has not really put on a good return for them. Of course, he sees a lot of that too.
Runniger angles the kick, and Ellard calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 8-yard line. Pretty odd spot to make a fair catch. If you're going to make a fair catch right there in the corner, why not let it go and hope that it goes out of bounds?
I think he's been back there long enough, Al, quite frankly, to know that that ball had a right-footed spin on it. And he probably read the way that ball was coming down with the tip of the ball not having turned over. He probably figured it was going to go out inside the 5, and he made a calculated judgment. Probably made a good one. He's been back there on many of them.
But the thing is, if you let it bounce, so what's the worst that happens to you? Maybe it picks up another few yards, 5 or 6, let's say.
Or the 2-yard line.
And right now they're out just past the 8, first and 10. 7 seconds to play in the period. David Hill, the tight end, sets up on the right side. And Everett going deep for Ellard and incomplete. And he's covered on the play by Don Griffin. And we're down to 1 second remaining in the period.
Different offensive ball club with Everett. Rams willing to throw on first down deep in their own territory. Everett with a lot of time. That ball was just off the fingertips of the receiver. As Montana talking to all of his people upstairs. Russ Francis looking on.
Second and 10. Final play of the period. And it's Redden. And down he goes, a threesome. Gathered him up, led by Milt McCall. Ricky Ellison is also there. And it's a near-perfect first quarter for San Francisco. Kind of reminds us of the Giant game a few weeks back when they led 17-0 at the half.
ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Buick and your Buick dealer, really as much as anything because of field position. Able to do a little of what they want to do, and that is run Eric Dickerson. 49ers defensively have been excellent against the run thus far.
Third and 7 as we start the second quarter. 10-0 San Francisco. The crowd has been raucous from the outset. Everett stepping up and stepping out, but stopped at the 11-yard line by Jeff Stover. And the Rams have been held to just 1 first down in their 4 possessions. Stover's playing hurt.
So typical, we tend to talk offense when we have Jim Everett, we have Dickerson, we have Montana, we have Rice, and we forget that these are 2 of the finest defensive teams around. 9th in the league, the 49ers, and the Rams are 6th.
Hatcher kicking out of the end zone. Low snap, and he comes up with it and gets off a good kick. Griffin from his own 45 fumbles the football and pounces on it at the 47. And the 49ers have it near midfield after a 44-yard kick and a 2-yard dramatic return.
49ers doing pretty much what they wanted to do, I'm sure, coming into the game. settled one issue. They are able to run the ball against the Rams. The Rams have to think run now. The linebackers in that zone where they are so important, they can't think totally pass, even on pass situation. And more than that, the Rams being unable to move the ball, they have been playing the game entirely on their half of the field.
First down from the 47. Fake to Craig. Montana over the middle for Clark, and it's intercepted at the 25-yard line. Picked off by Vince Newsome. Newsome to the 50 and to the 49er 43-yard line. As Clark was cutting over the middle, Montana rifling one and overthrowing him, and Newsome with the interception and a good run back.
Bad pass by Montana. Clark was wide open. And plenty of time for Montana. Good protection. Right there, Clark is dead solid open between two defenders. Overthrown. Newsome is right there, and the Rams get their 28th interception of the season, and for the first time they can start thinking offense in the other man's territory.
Newsome picked one off against Marino last Sunday. That was his third of the season. First down, Los Angeles at the 42-yard line. The type of play the Rams were very much in need of at this point. Everett under pressure throws a dangerous pass caught by Redden at the 39-yard line, and Redden takes it to the 38. Tim McKyer making the tackle. Second down. Kind of play under pressure and nearly backpedaling, and if the cornerback is in the right position, he can pick it off, and it's a quick 7.
He's still young. He's still learning but you do realize that he has got the strong arm. He can do that backing away. Was able to get the ball to Redden.
Second and 5 at the 38-yard line. Redden in motion. And the pass at the 21-yard line taken in by Kevin House.
And he threw that on a rope. Good coverage by Griffin. And House, who has not been working with the Rams that long, certainly not Everett. Watch this. He makes the drive on Griffin. Griffin has to respect it because, again, you're getting down there close. Griffin is not going to get him anything into the end zone. That ball was on the way before House set up. That was perfect timing.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Out of the eye, it's Dickerson threading his way down to the 15-yard line. Stopped by Mano Tuiasosopo. The Rams are minus one guy, and that would be Ron Brown, the outstanding wide receiver. We saw him in the Dallas game separate his shoulder. And they're fortunate that they did pick up a Kevin House from Tampa Bay when the Buccaneers, in essence, shall we say, cleaned house earlier this year. Jimmy Giles was sent away.
Their passing offense had been hurt by the loss of Tony Hunter, Mike Gooman. They're really down to Ellard, the experienced receiver.
Dickerson on 2nd and 5 has the first down and the touchdown. And the Newsome interception and subsequent run back put the Rams in 49er territory, and the Rams go quickly into the end zone with 11:53 to go in the half.
They pull him from the opposite side. Dennis Harrer was leading, and Jackie Slater. They'll come, as you look at it, from the left side. See the two big men coming. Good block there by Jackie Slater. And Dickerson just sprints it into the end zone, but it all goes back to the turnover, to the pass interception by Newsome that got the Rams out of their own territory for the first time, and they are back in this thing solid.
Mike Lansford, who won the game at Chicago in November with a field goal at the gun, kicks the extra point. And so the Rams march right back into it. Newsome's interception setting it up, and in 4 plays culminated with Dickerson's 15-yard run. The Rams march in to score. Derek Crawford 83 and Tom Rathman 44 to receive the kick as Lansford puts it in the air, and Crawford takes the ball at the 4 to the 10 and ripped at the 16 and a penalty marker. Tim Terrell, who was flagged earlier. This time it's the 49ers who are guilty of the infraction for holding. But Terrell making his presence very much felt. tomorrow and over the weekend afternoon.
Jim Farnhurst on the holding, Al.
And so that moves it back to the 8-yard line on first down. 1st and 10. Craig comes to the outside. And as he turns the corner, he's taken down at the 12-yard line by Reggie Doss, number 71. Reggie Doss, in a way, symbolizing many of the Rams' defensive unit members. 9th year and yet not a household name. And we talked about Eckern before. 10th year and finally makes it to the Pro Bowl. So no big stars, but a very functional unit, and a unit that had been playing exceptionally well until last week when Marino tore him apart.
Doss, really a specialist too. He's in there primarily against the run. Any pass situation, he's usually out of there.
2nd and 6 from the 12-yard line. Montana forced to scramble. Chased, throws, and dropped by Frank at the 15-yard line. He was chased by Doug Reed. That's not that costly a drop. It would have gained about a yard or two, and Frank would have been tackled right away. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Swinging just a little bit. It was all the 49ers in the first quarter. If you happen to join us late, just got home from wherever you happen to be. We had a 5 o'clock start out here in the West Coast, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. But it was all the 49ers in the first quarter. But a turnover can do so much emotionally. And it certainly did for the Rams. They got one by Vince Newsom, and 4 plays later, they were in the end zone. They'll fire up everything. Your defense, your coaching staff, it really gets the juices flowing.
On 3rd down and 6, it's Craig behind McIntyre. And Craig, looking for the first down, is very close to it. Out at the 18-yard line, may be close enough for a measurement, as Jorgensen stops the clock. Newsom made the tackle. And it's a first down. So Craig able to eke it out.
Good blocking out in front again of Craig, and he reads it ever so well. Guy McIntyre was there. Let's take a look at it again. 62 is McIntyre. He's in there filling for the injured heirs. There he is leading Craig. Craig staying right with him. Good block against Carl Eckern. That was just enough for Craig to read the first down stripes before he goes down in the arms of Newsom.
On an audible hit. First down from the 18-yard line. Cribbs runs into Eckern.
Tried the same thing the other way and not nearly so effective.
2nd and 9. Again, Craig, and that graphic reflects his health. Early on this season, bothered by the hip, and everybody was wondering what's wrong with Craig. His average 3.2, but he's returned to health and returned to form, and he's averaging 5.3 over the last half dozen games.
Yeah, he's done something that's hard to do. He came in tonight 77 receptions without a touchdown reception. That's almost impossible to do that. Somebody has to fall down for you somewhere.
2nd and 10 from the 18-yard line. Fires to Francis for a first down. Rush to the 36. Stopped by Mark Giroux. Russ Francis.
Zone defense over in the far side. Francis found the open spot. Somebody had to blow that one. There had to be a linebacker in there roaming around somewhere. Russ Francis is having a tremendous year. Of course, they picked that up in films and their scouting reports and their videotapes. 36 receptions. That's the most receptions coming into tonight that he's had since 1980. No one even near him.
49ers at their own 36. Montana is 8 for 12. Craig goes to the 38-yard line for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Montana already over 100 yards tonight. Huge days against the Rams. In the last 6 games in which Joe has faced Los Angeles, he's thrown for 300 or more yards 5 times.
So Montana look over to the bench for Norv Hecker. Stands alongside Bill Walsh. Wig wags the signals in. Joe nods, gives you a little smile, spreads it around to the boys in the huddle.
2nd and 8. Frank in motion. Fired, complete to Dwight Clark out at the 48-yard line. And that gives Clark a catch in 104 consecutive games.
They've got it in gear once again. You get Craig picking up first down yardage on the ground. You make the Rams think run. You get little slant plays like this open. A short drop. Montana fires it in there between that Ram zone. And the 49ers offense is perfectly designed for the defense the Rams play. And that is that mostly a zone defense is a contained defense. Keep everything in front of you. They give you a lot of gaps. If you can pass block for Montana, he is surgically going to carve you up.
1st and 10 from the 49-yard line. Montana throws complete to Cribbs.
Little things like
38. And that's another first down, and that's 4 consecutive first downs for the 49ers on this drive.
Wasn't that fan the same one we had in Detroit?
Yeah, right.
There again, the quick look. Hecker signaling it in. As Bill Waltz goes down the clipboard, he's probably just about to the end of the clipboard, the demand plays, as he would call them. And they have been effective.
1st and 10, 49ers from their own 38-yard line on a drive that began at the San Francisco 8. Cribbs in motion. Niners on top by 3. Give is to Craig on a wraparound handoff, and he takes it to the 29-yard line.
That's pretty. Rams will be befuddled defensively, and they're a good defensive team.
She's got it perfectly placed. You saw the lady hold up her fingers. That's about how far he is from the first down.
Watch this now. Montana will go beyond Craig, hand it back inside, and that may look cute, but it has a dramatic effect on the linebackers, and they start to drop into the pass when they see Montana passing Craig, and that gave him the room to come up close to the first down.
2nd and inches, and they give it to Cribbs, and he picks up the first down, fighting his way to the 27-yard line, and that's 5 first downs on this drive, with 6:20 to play in the first half. A rapidly moving first half.
49ers, when Montana went down early in the year, you would not have given them a chance to be in this position. They can win the Western Division tonight with a victory, as can the Rams. But when Montana went down, he missed 8 games. They lost all kinds of people in the secondary. Eric Wright was gone. And hurting all year long was Roger Craig, who is much of their offense. But all of a sudden, the tremendous development of Rice, Montana is back. And they are looking like the 49ers of 1984 right now.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Over the middle to Craig. And another first down to the 15-yard line.
And that's what they did in '84. They dink here, they dink you there, they give it to Craig. He'll turn a 3-yard pass into a 10 or 12-yard pass. And all of a sudden your defense is thinking whether they're going to run or whether they're going to pass. And then you start to hesitate. And once that happens, you've had it.
Spirited first half. The winner of this game wins the NFC West, takes a week off, and then on the weekend of January 3rd goes to either Chicago or New York. The loser has to go to Washington and would have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. 1st and 10 from the 15. Cribbs, stop. Minimal gain. Hit by number 98, Sean Miller. 2nd and 10. 5 minutes to go in the half.
Fans in the Northern California, San Francisco area are really into this. I think there is much more of a rivalry from this end of it, Al, and you live in Los Angeles now, than there is down around Anaheim and Los Angeles. That's a strange place down there. If you don't play great, they go to the beach, go to a volleyball game, or, well, you got to give them something extra special down there. But up here, the 49ers are a way of life.
No doubt. 2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Montana throws complete to Clark at the 4-yard line and a first down.
This is surgery.
And this is one of the more unusual drives in the sense that the 49ers have 7 first downs on this drive. And if you don't know, a touchdown is a first down. They could have an 8 first down drive.
A lot of things happening. Yes, signal being sent in there by Jeff Kemp, quarterback. And one of the things that's happening is there is a hesitation now on the part of the Ram defense. They're going to need a big play, and they're going to have to get it very quickly. 49ers are able to do just exactly whatever they want to do at this moment.
Rathman on 1st and goal. Fights his way to the 2, does the Nebraska rookie. And they are really mixing it up with Cribbs and Craig and Rathman carrying the ball. And then Clark and Rice and Francis catching it, as well as the backs.
It is a 49er offense playing back to what they were in '84, when they could do just about anything and everything they wanted to do, and it culminated, of course, with the Super Bowl victory over the Miami Dolphins when they did just everything they wanted to do.
Meanwhile, Montana has to take a timeout, and so this drive bogs down, but just temporarily. 2nd and goal when we come back. Niners by 3. With the 49ers knocking on the door, look at how tough the Rams are And what that graphic tells you, the NFL average 73%, about 3 times in 4 does a team go in from inside the 5, and yet the Rams let you in less than 1 time in 4. Best in the league. Second and goal. Rice in motion from the 2, and Cribbs takes it in.
So much for numbers.
And that drive was more than 8.5 minutes. It was 92 yards, 15 plays, and that's 8 first downs on that drive, and that's something you'll almost never see.
Well, now, more importantly, it was classic Bill Walsh. They did exactly what they wanted to do. As we look at it again, it's a quick trap. McIntyre, 62, good play down there. One of the oldest goal line plays in football. Pull your guard, block your center back, and you send your back right in behind. And there is an injured Ram. That is Greg Meisner, who they're looking at down on the field. But on that drive, they sent Craig to the outside. They had Cribbs running inside. They were hitting Dwight Clark on slants.
With a bad ankle.
Last week, it was Marino with 403 yards passing. Thus far, the most effective part of tonight, even though Rice had that long touchdown pass, has been the 49ers' ability to run the ball.
Mike Borowski holds, and Ray Wersching kicks it through.
Let's take a look at the trap block by Mike McIntyre. Every team has it in their repertoire of goal line plays. He's on your left side, number 62. Center blocks back Quillen. He looks for the first man outside. There it is, big opening. Nothing in the world that the linebacker could do about it. Mark Giroux, touchdown for Cribbs, and an easy one.
49ers kicking off. Wersching puts it in the air. It's fielded at the 1-yard line by the former Heisman winner, Charles White. And a good run back as White brings it out to the 30 with 3:08 to play in the half, and San Francisco leading by 10.
One way you take Eric Dickerson out of a football game is just keep the football all the time with your offense. And look at the time of possession on that drive. 92 yards, but more importantly, 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Dickerson was sitting on the bench. More than that, as you start to put some points up on the board, you start to think that the Rams might have to think differently offensively. They do have Jim Everett, and prior to that, they thought only of Dickerson. And now a 49er is being attended to. Number 65, Doug Rogers, on the ground with Dickerson. He is that extra dimension that the Rams have lacked for so long.
Number 65, who is still on the turf as we speak.
Well, no place for the timid out there. He just banged his head into the shoulder pads of Charles White. Pretty good field position. Charlie White gave him a pretty good starting point.
Rams have all of their timeouts. 3:08 to go. First half, 17-7 San Francisco. From the 29-yard line, the play fake to Dickerson. And the pass at the 48, juggled and dropped by Ellard.
Oh, and that was well thrown.
Good pass to a man who in 6 games has become the Rams' leading receiver. Remember, he held out for half the year.
He had beaten Don Griffin to the inside. Everett wrote it beautifully, had it right in there, and just couldn't hold on to it.
Second and 10, LA from the 29. Everett sidearms one incomplete, intended for Ellard, but he wasn't open. He was covered by Tim McKyer over the middle.
He was thinking Kevin House deep down on the left side, and when House was well covered by Griffin, he came off and went to Ellard and just flipped it to avoid the interception and also the sack.
So 3rd down and 10, Rams from their own 29-yard line, 2:56 to go in the half. In the game for the championship of the NFC West.
And almost as important to get a week off.
By the way, if the game winds up in a tie, the Rams win the division by a half game. 3rd and 10. Everett fires for House, and it's incomplete as he dropped the ball, and he was probably thinking about the first down as well. He was right there, close to it, not only thinking about the catch, but the distance, and he got neither.
Ford and Roberts were in on Everett, but you're exactly right. House had that first down marker. He saw it flashing out of the corner of his eye, lost the concentration, dropped the ball, and the Rams will have to punt. And the 49ers have plenty of time to put some more up there.
Griffin drops back to his own 30-yard line. Hatcher, who's been a busy man in the first half, taking the snap at the 15. Fair kick. And a fumble. Another fumble. And the 49ers maintain possession at the 37 on a dangerous attempt that time by Griffin. Tom Holmoe, number 46, saves possession after a 34-yard punt. Holmoe coming up with a football. Second time that Griffin has coughed it up.
And again, not a good punt. Hatcher having a bad night. The 49ers out over their own 35-yard line. Plenty of time on the board. And so far, the Rams have not been able to stop anything they've been coming with.
From the 36, the Niners have 2 timeouts. Montana under pressure and gets it off to Rathman. And he's dragged down at the 41-yard line by Mark Giroux after a gain of close to 5.
When everything is working with the 49ers offense, it's a really beautiful thing to watch because they have about 3 things they check off, and they do it so well. All the receivers read with the quarterback. Montana spun around, looked downfield. He knew that the deep man was not going to be there. I think it was Dwight Clark he was thinking at first. He knew right away who he could go to. He popped it out there, and he turned incompletion or even a sack into about a 5-yard pickup. And it's so systematic.
The 49ers will take it down to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 41 when we come back. San Francisco.
Want to go to Miami Monday?
Do we have a choice?
New England's going to be there, and they'll be breathing deeply.
End of the season.
Trying to stay alive.
Quite a way to end it, too. Big game coming up on Monday night. Final Monday night game, of course, and the final game period of the regular season. 2nd down, 5. 2 minutes to go, first half. San Francisco from the 41. Sweet, Cribbs, a first down, and he goes out of bounds to save a timeout as well. Led by Cross and McIntyre. The 2 men pulling and leading the way, and the 49ers love to run that play.
Rams doing a lot of changing. They've been going with a lot of 4-2-5, and then they have drop back into their 3-4. None of it has been effective. The 49ers just keep moving the ball on the ground with the little slants, with the little dinks out on the flat. Everything works.
1st and 10 from the 48-yard line as Montana steps up, shoots one to the side, and he's out of bounds. Roger Craig, it'll be 2nd down, 10. Nothing spectacular. In fact, Frank, as we take a look again, it'll be 2nd down and 10, and they're still with a pair of timeouts remaining.
And even when it doesn't work, this almost did work. You, of course, have to bring both of those feet down in bounds, and Craig unable to do so.
2nd and 10. That much time left in the half. From the 48. Montana to the 29 and incomplete, intended for Dwight Clark. Gray with him on the play. 3rd down.
That's about the 2nd bad pass that Montana's thrown tonight. The bad pass earlier that was picked off by Vince Newsom. And that time he did have Clark open. Did not get it over the linebacker. Mel Owens had taken a deep drop on that.
Third and 10. 49ers at the Rams 48. Clark left, Rice right. The wraparound handoff, but this time the Rams smell it, and Craig gets buried at the 50-yard line. So it worked earlier for a gain of 9. This time it's a loss of 2, and Runniger and the punting unit come on. And when the Rams get it back, they have all of their timeouts left. And what the Rams are going to do right here, knowing they're going to get the ball back, is take the first of those timeouts to stop the clock at 1:30. So he goes back for a little extra attention prior to the half. Runniger, who's had a couple blocked this season, kicking for the 2nd time tonight. short kick. Bounces at the 20. Fielded by Ellard at the 11. And Ellard squirms his way out to the 26-yard line with 1:18 to go in the half. And the Rams taking over with 2 timeouts remaining. 38-yard punt, 14-yard run back.
2 timeouts remaining. You would like to get something on the board, even a field goal to get a little closer. What you don't want to do is turn it over down here and give Wersching a chance to come on and get 3 on you, or even take it in for a touchdown. You don't want to give up anymore, but you also would like to try to go for some more. I'm quite certain that John Robinson feels that way, so whatever he comes with will be fairly high percentage.
First down, Rams from the 27-yard line. Everett chased, got it off incomplete, intended for Dickerson, but bearing down on him, 2 49ers, Stover and Board, coming from the outside.
That was a screen pass, and your offensive linemen are supposed to slow these guys up just a little bit.
Screen pass.
They did nothing to Stover. He was right in the face of Everett. That's a good call, too. You get it safe. Ordinarily it's safe if you don't get your quarterback killed. You get the ball to the man who can turn a 3-yard completion on a screen into a 65-yard touchdown. And that, of course, is the one man out there, Eric Dickerson.
2nd and 10 from the 27. Everett's had a bad half. He's 5 out of 13 for 34 yards.
Safety blitz.
Down he goes at the 13. Jeff Fuller.
No one to pick him up. And Everett was looking downfield with a little roll to the left. He didn't even see Fuller coming. '49ers dominating this game, and now they call timeout because they think they can get it back and put some more points up on the board. But there's a look at Jeff Fuller. They're dominating this game, as you mentioned earlier, just like they did the Giants a couple of weeks ago.
Well, 3rd and 23 is the situation now, and so the 49ers figuring if they can stop them on this next play. 184 years. Last year, they were a wild card. Lost to the Giants in the playoffs. They were banged up. Tyler was hurt. Montana, they kept his rib problem well hidden last year, but the way he played that day.
Going to leave early also.
3rd down and 23 from the 14. Keep it on the ground. Dickerson swinging to the outside. He wants to stay in bounds to force the 49ers to use a timeout. You can see Eric almost ending the play by himself, knowing he had to stay in to get the Niners to use that last timeout, which they do, and they'll get the ball back with nary a timeout now in 1:01 to play in the half.
A lot of thinking's gone into this as we look at the Rams trot out Dale Hatcher. He's had a couple of short punts, one of 23 yards. Now, if that were to happen again and you could get a fair catch somewhere around the 45-yard line, you could, under an NFL rule, of course, go for a possible field goal. You get a free kick if you so desire after a fair catch, and I'm sure that they're going to try and pressure Hatcher. Maybe on an off night they could get a short punt and they could get a Ray Wersching opportunity. There is Don Griffin.
Coughed it up twice, but each time the 49ers have recovered, so he's been bailed out as he retreats back to midfield. 1:01 to play, first half, 17-7. The 49ers on top.
Lost that airplane with that final catch. They knew they'd have the opportunity to go for it.
Hatcher and a bouncing kick that is down at the 43-yard line after a 39-yard inartistic punt. So without a timeout, Montana and the 49ers from their own 45-yard line with 52 seconds.
It'll be interesting to see what they try to do, though, with 52 seconds. They're fairly safe. They're out about their own 44-yard line, and nobody can do it better than this man. Of course, you have to get the completion. If you're thinking points, you have to get the completion and get the man out of bounds and stop the clock, because they have no timeouts.
You know what? They're checking upstairs. Ronnie Lott was running on and off the field just prior to that. This could be a 12 men on the field penalty coming up against San Francisco. I think that's what they're checking, because I saw Lott run onto the field and then attempt to run off as well.
It did look a little like a fire drill down there.
Yeah, and it could be, we'll have a 12 men on the field penalty coming up. I don't know.
What a great extension of Bill Walsh's Montana. They think alike, and he executes.
He's out at about the 35-yard line on the very near side. If you count the others, you see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then Griffin was back, and sure enough, Lott is the 12th guy. But what they have to find is indisputable visual evidence, so they need a shot, and there is Lott. And believe me, with our naked eye from where we were, we could see him on the field, and he didn't know where to go, and he was not off the field.
Replay, San Francisco had 12 men on the field. We will give an option to the kicking team.
And they're right.
And it was not a good
12
kick.
men on the field, defense, 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, still 4th down.
But they're also 20 seconds shy, as they're down to 41 without a timeout. 45-yard punt, 7-yard return, 1st and 10, San Francisco at the 40. No timeouts.
Here's the replay, and they are saying that they see 10 at the line of scrimmage. You can see the helmet right there at the corner, and of course, deep was Griffin. So they could see the number of players, and there were 12. This will, I'm sure, change the philosophy of Bill Walsh as to what they would like to do, and they come out very conservatively.
They do, with Craig taking it up to the 44-yard line. They'll go now without a timeout with a half a minute to go from the 45. 2nd and 5. Craig in motion. Montana sets up the screen. Cribbs gets bumped down at the 50-yard line. And so a conservative ending to the first half. Even though they're running plays without a huddle, they don't have a timeout, and it's 1st and 10 from the 50. And if you're going to throw a Hail Mary, it's right here. This will be the final play of the half. Not quite a Hail Mary. All it does is add to Francis's stats as Russ makes the catch, and the half is over. And a good half for the 49ers, who made only one mistake. That Montana's overthrow of Clark, the interception by Newsome, and the subsequent Ram drive. 17-7 San Francisco as we start the second half at Candlestick Park on a cool night, but it's been a dry one thus far after some sprinkles, some rain in the Bay Area today, but the field has been covered in good shape, and so is the 49er offense through much of the first half. Rathman 44, Crawford 83, split apart to receive the second half kickoff from the foot of Mike Lansford. Crawford at the 5. And after escaping tackles, he's taken down out of the 25-yard line.
As Joe Montana gets the last word from Bill Walsh, you'd have to say that the Los Angeles Rams are going to have to do something a little bit different defensively than they wanted to do. As we look at the stats, totally dominated by the 49ers. They've been able to do whatever they wanted to do on the ground, in the air. Now, the Rams would probably like to do something they don't do very well, and that is blitz a little more, get a little more exotic with their defense, but they tried to play a blitzing defense and a man-for-man against the Miami Dolphins a week ago. They got murdered, so they probably are inhibited from changing very dramatically, but they're going to have to do something different.
Craig, meanwhile, for a gain of a couple, out to the 27-yard line.
And it is a solid Ram defensive unit, but they are solid in what they do well, and that is play a containing zone-type defense. And the 49ers have absolutely torn that up.
And they've done it in Walsh's inimitable way. Art Spander's column in the Examiner here today, Walsh quoted as saying, it basically gets down to two teams slugging it out. And the winning play often comes from something that seems rather conservative in nature.
49ers not slugging, they're jabbing.
No bells and whistles, but they get it done is what it amounts to. To the 30-yard line, it's Frank who gets popped by Leroy Irvin. After a gain of about 4, make it 3. It'll be 3rd down and 5. And taking the hit on the play, the 49ers, that is Jeff Fuller, who just where Fuller is, I see where he is. He's on the sideline. He's a special teams member and a defensive back, and he's being worked on near the 49er bench. 3rd down and 5 from the 30-yard line. Little shovel pass and almost disaster as Cribbs makes the catch, and it's all he can do to hold on up to the 32-yard line.
Strange play, but it was on the clipboard, and we're going to see it before the night's over. Here he comes. Cribbs almost bobbled it. Came close. Had he been able to break it back inside, had he been able to control it, he probably could have got the first down out of it.
Elward back at his own 25-yard line. Max Runiger with the punt. Pretty good kick. 25-yard line. Flag as he brings it to the 39.
Has to be a clip. He came back inside, and one of the 49ers coming down got turned around. Norwood Ben was blocking on it. I think that his man turned around on him. He hit him in the back.
Illegal use of the hands.
Ellard broke it back inside just as Van is getting ready to block.
Illegal use of the hands. 54, receiving team during the run back.
Well, it was Mike Wilcher. Nothing going well for the Rams.
And LA backed up to its own 20-yard line. Crowd into it all night long from the 20. 1st and 10. Kevin House is the man in motion, and Dickerson begins the second half with a 7-yard gain out to the 27-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
The Rams defense did what they had to do, and they stopped the 49ers on their first possession. Now they have to get back into the game, their kind of game, and this is their man. No matter that they opened up 2 or 3 series in the first quarter with Everett throwing the football. The Rams are going to win it. Dickerson is going to have a big night before it's over.
Yards from scrimmage, of course, is a combination of rushing and receiving yardage. Dickerson on 2nd and 3, close to a first down, gets it out to the 30-yard line, stopped there by Ricky Ellison.
The thing about Eric, Al, and we were talking about it today, he was shaken up a little bit there, hit really hard, but he seems to thrive on more carries. He gets stronger and stronger as the game goes on, and quite frankly, people in the secondary get a little tired of hitting him. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. If he ever pops it, he's gone. And he's just one of those backs, like all great backs, I guess. They just like to carry the football a lot of times.
First down for the Rams at the 30. Early 3rd period. San Francisco ahead by 10. Fake pitch and then batted down. Dwayne Board, number 76, swatting it away.
Super football player, Dwayne Board. He has not been quite as effective this year as he's been in the past, but he's been asked to do a lot of different things for the 49ers. Ordinarily, he rushes from the right side. He was there a moment ago, but with the drafting of a super football player, Charlie Haley from James Madison, they've had to move him around a lot. Haley's had a great rookie year, but here is a superb play by Board. Very quick, very athletic.
2nd and 10, LA from the 30-yard line. Everett. Great interception at the 45-yard line by McKyer to the 34. What a play.
Everett has a strong arm, but his arm is not that strong. He threw that ball off balance. It hung in the air long enough for McKyer, who was way off his man, to come back and get into it. Now watch McKyer. He's staying way off of Kevin House. Kevin House has him to the outside, and Everett tried to get it in there. He was off balance when he threw the ball, nothing on it, and the 49ers get it back.
McKyer's got to be unbelievable on the dance floor. Did you watch his feet, the way he changed directions, and then the diving interception? Craig gets about 3, taking it to the 34-yard line. McKyer, one of the 2 rookie cornerbacks. It's been McKyer and Griffin at the corners. The 49ers with that revamped secondary not long ago. People like Dwight Hicks, and we talked about Eric Wright before, manning the spots, and then they had Lott and Williamson, but they had to make the changeover this season.
Not a bad draft. McKyer, a 3rd-round pick. Griffin, the other rookie, a 6th-round pick.
2nd and 7. It's a reverse. Jerry Rice looking for room. 35-30. Rice inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
He looked like Joe Gribbs. He not only can catch the football, he can run the football, following the blocking beautifully. We saw this in the first half of the Giants game, and Jerry Rice took that one in for a touchdown. This one he turns into a big gainer way down inside the 20-yard line. Let's watch again. Hand off to Cribbs. Rams now are good pursuing defense, and they went with it all the way. Now watch this move here, breaking it back inside. Didn't even need the block, and now he sets up Russ Francis, breaks off that, and looking much like a running back to get all the way down inside the 20.
That's Sean Miller who goes limping off, and that's a problem because the man replacing him, Greg Meisner, has been bothered with a bad ankle, and he had to come out early. So the nose tackle is a little weak, a little soft for the Rams as the pass comes out to Cribbs to the 12-yard line. Close to 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
All safe things they're doing. Not designed to get anything major out of it unless you're back like a Cribbs or a Craig. Breaks off something big. Very safe pass. You're not going to get it intercepted. Now you hope that you break the tackle here against Irvin. You don't break the tackle, but you get good yardage. You get 8 yards out of it, and there's no risk to it.
2nd and 3. 49ers at the Ram 12. Craig through the middle for a first down. It'll be 1st and goal as Doss and Newsom come up to make the tackle. 10 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 17-7 49ers.
Again, Guy McIntyre over on that left side, filling in for an injured John Ayers, doing a good job. We've watched him pulling well tonight, leading plays to the outside, and that was just a straight-ahead shot, along with Bubba Paris, the big left tackle.
1st and goal at the 6. Rams tough all season down deep, but not tonight. Craig takes it inside the 1.
If it were a fight, they'd stop this. They're beating him outside, and they're beating him up the middle now.
And again, up the middle where the Rams are soft, with Meisner having to spell Miller right now.
McIntyre again. Just blows out of there and takes Mark Giroux completely out of the play.
2nd and goal. Cribbs and Craig. And it's Craig, but he runs into a gang for no gain. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Giroux will get credit for at least a fraction of the tackle, number 59.
They gave you a graphic earlier in the game how tough the Rams are when the opposition gets inside their 5-yard line. They have been tough throughout the season.
3rd down, goal inside the 1. Double tight end setup with Frank on the left and Francis on the right.
They quick trapped it down here before. Now they're going to roll it out.
And Montana throws it back for Francis.
Oh, yes.
He makes the catch for the touchdown.
And what a catch.
Francis the acrobat. What a call on 3rd down and goal.
I'll tell you, it's the kind of call that'll make your defense, which is already reeling on the ropes, collapse. Francis goes up, one hands it. Super athlete. Knew he couldn't get both hands up. Had to turn around. Got his big body off the ground and came down with it.
And that's Francis's first touchdown of the season. What a call. It's the type of call if he doesn't make the catch. Everybody says, how can you call that play?
49ers again using the time.
Wershing. Murawski puts it down. And San Francisco leads by 17. 8:28 to play. Francis having a big night in his 11th season, and the 49ers in command. 8:28 to go in the 3rd. West Francis, if you follow the sport, you know the story. The great years at New England, known as all-world up there. Then the retirement. He just needed to get away from football for a while. Bill Walsh talked him back into coming back. 49ers traded for him, and tonight he makes his first touchdown catch of the season at a most propitious time.
Is having his best year since 1980.
Wersching's line drive is caught on the knees by White from the 8. And White brings it back out to the 18. And at that spot will the Rams begin what amounts to a pretty important drive right now because they're down by 17, 8:19 to go in the period.
How about Vital?
This is an AT&T line.
Christmas coming early thus far at Candlestick Park. The only park on the North American continent where it's warmer in football season than it is in baseball season. Trust me.
They hardly need the cue cards. This crowd has been rambunctious all night long. Of course, a partisan crowd, a Ram fan wouldn't dare show his colors here tonight.
First down from the 18-yard line as Everett swings one out to Ellard. And a lot of razzle-dazzle and a gain of about 1.5 yards after all that as Don Griffin buries him. Second down and 8.
Because of Everett, the Rams have more of a potential to come back from a 17-point deficit than they did prior to a Jim Everett. I can tell you that for sure. But nevertheless, this is a team that is built around Eric Dickerson. As you look at Congressman Jack Kemp's and Joanne's son, Jeff Kemp, backup quarterback for the 49ers.
Second and 8 from the 20. That was Ellard's first catch of the game, by the way. And he gets overthrown on what would have been his second. Well overthrown. It'll be third down and 8.
Ellard only had 4 defenders around him. Everett actually just threw that ball away to avoid the sack. And we talk so much about the cleverly and brilliantly, I think, designed offense that the 49ers have brought into this game tonight against a tough Ram defense. But how about the 49er defense? Now, they have played superb football.
Third down and 8. L.A. from the 20. Darren Long is in the game as a wide receiver. He goes to the left. Shotgun. Incomplete. Good coverage on the play. Michael Young, the intended receiver, even had he caught the ball, he was 1 yard shy of a first down.
Tina Turner.
The crowd uproarious.
They're smelling a week off.
Yeah. Trying to stay home for Christmas. And the Rams try to avoid an unwanted trip to Washington. Hatcher's kick. Pretty good. 34-yard line. Griffin. And he runs it back out to about the 37. 47-yard punt, 3-yard run back, and we have 7:23 to go in the third in San Francisco. Point lead for the 49ers, who have the football at their own 38-yard line, first and 10, 7:23 remaining, third quarter. Joe Montana
in total control.
Rathman sets up on a wing. Craig with the fake. Montana going for Rice. And Rice not only double teamed, the pass is overthrown. Good coverage that time as Irvin was back there with him step for step. And Cromwell was in the area to help out. Second down.
That's one of the few times Joe did not have an optional man to go to. He kept his people in, figuring the Rams probably will try to come up with a more of a blitzing type of defense than they've been using all night, trying to get some kind of a turnover, something happening. They only had the one man deep. He saw the double coverage, and he just fired it beyond the reach of anyone.
Second and 10 from the 38. Cribbs behind McIntyre. Good move. First down at the LA 47-yard line. Picked his spots, accelerated, and he and Craig doing the job on the ground tonight.
And are they getting the blocking out in front of it? The block's not necessarily even being made, but they are able to break behind the blocks of Randy Cross and McIntyre, who have been leading most of the plays to the outside. And even if they don't make the the classical block, they are able to cut behind it. Craig now coming out, and he looks to be a little bit shaken up.
First down at the 48-yard line. Montana, the fake, rolling, looking for the sideline, and then staying in bounds, and then going out of bounds at the 32.
He's an athlete. Makes things happen.
And if you're wondering about Montana, and is he playing it really cautiously, well, of course he has to be thinking about the back, but here's a play in which it looks as if he's going to go out of bounds and then says, I can pick up about 6 more.
Mark Giroux thought he was. Saw a little daylight, turned himself into a halfback and gets the first down inside the 32-yard line. Good effort by Montana.
16-yard gain for him. That's his longest run of the year. First and 10, San Francisco at the Ram 32. Cribbs, gain of 2. You know what I'm thinking about, Frank? It's been a funny year in the NFL, in the sense that teams get hot and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Remember, early in the season it was Denver, and then everybody said, hey, look at the Jets. And remember when Washington looked like the team, and then everybody said, hey, look, the Raiders have won 8 and 9. Watch out for them. And now it's the Giants. And a couple of weeks ago, everybody's saying, hey, look at the Rams. And now everybody's saying, hey, wait a second, what about the Rams?
But this is the time to be hot. We're going into the playoffs. The 49ers are getting people healthy. They've got running backs that are healthy once again. They can do just about anything they want to do here tonight. And the Rams are hurting with that containing defense. And you mentioned something about the Rams not wanting to go as a wild card to play Washington. Well, in 1983, they went back there as a divisional playoff team, and they got beat 51-7. Now, that got John Robinson's attention as the Redskins totally took away Dickerson, and they had nothing even remotely like Everett at the time. But I'm sure he just is dreading the thought of a trip to Washington. One of them is the memory of that 83 blowout.
Third down and 4 at the 25-yard line. And it's incomplete. And one of the few times tonight that Montana has not been there on third down.
The crowd is really with him. He's almost orchestrating this crowd. When he gets the incompletion, there's a sigh almost about a collected 50,000 people.
And there was also a mix-up on the play because as Montana came off, he and Clark and Cribbs were getting together, and somebody did not run the right pattern.
They don't mix it up much, though. Under Walsh, there's always an option. If one man, and they read it so quickly, they read it coming off the line of scrimmage. Montana will look to the A man, the B man. If he's not there, to the C man. He usually is. Somebody is going to be open.
42-yard attempt. Orosky holding for Wershing. Taken out of the air by Wilcher on the block by Giroux. Mark Giroux was the man who blocked it. And the Rams now with a big play as they are down by 17, and they were in need of a big play.
When they got a turnover in the first half, they answered with a touchdown. Can they get back into it? We're going to find out. We'll take a look again. The blocked field goal. Let's pick up the man in the middle. Sliding through is Giroux. Up into the air and right into the arms of Wilcher. And they'll have it near the 40-yard line.
This stadium is the home of the baseball giants, and it was built for the baseball giants, and now they want to get out of here. And then it was expanded for the 49ers, made into a multi-purpose facility, and they're happy here. Or at least they've got their luxury boxes anyway.
The only stadium where you freeze in July.
Yep. And are comfortable in December. First down from the 40-yard line as Dickerson takes it out to the 45-yard line. So that sign in reference to that ongoing political struggle, I suppose would be the right word to use, about getting a new baseball park here. Rams would have to be doing it for the first time since October of '64 to come from such a deficit.
A lot of years since they've been the type of team that could come back from a deficit.
Dickerson hit down before he gets to the line of scrimmage. Number 50, that's Ricky Ellison, and Ellison played his college football under John Robinson at USC.
Turned into a surprisingly, I don't say surprisingly, but because of all the injuries at USC, many knee operations, turned into superb linebacker on the inside, and he really gets stoked up when he's going to play against Dickerson. Loves to play against Dickerson. And they have just about taken Dickerson out of the offense with maybe the exception of a couple of plays tonight.
On 3rd down and 6. Interference. Darren Long, who wouldn't have made the catch anyway, and Keena Turner was there. He would not have made the catch.
Interference, number 58, defense, first down.
That's one of those you got to kill yourself when you go back and you look at the film or tape as it is these days and know that the guy had no chance anyway.
No chance because there was pressure. There were people right in the face of Everett. Here is Keena Turner. Just ran right in to Darren Long. Then more than that, right in front of the official. And they keep it alive.
First down Rams at the 49er 49. 3:44 to play in the 3rd. Everett under pressure again, throws off balance, and it's picked off at the 21-yard line by Ronnie Lott. That's his 10th of the season. And Everett asking for trouble all night, throwing as he backpedals and is off balance, and he floated one into Lott's hands.
There's been a couple of them up there. That time, Dwayne Board hit him as he released the ball, a pass he should never have thrown. Watch Board, he'll come from the top of your screen. Everett off balance, tries to strong-arm it. He was even hit as he released the ball. Ronnie Lott, who has played hurt all year long, ended tonight with a bad knee. He's playing with a cast on the index finger of his left hand, heading for the Pro Bowl. Missed a couple of games, but amazingly enough, most players would have missed many more.
First down San Francisco at the 37. Lott's interception is the 33rd of his illustrious career. 1st and 10. Cribbs can't get a block, and Wilcher makes the tackle.
When you take away the running of Dickerson from the Rams, and when you're down 24-7, you pretty much have taken it away. You know that the team is going to have to put the ball in the air. And the 49ers, while we have talked so much about their well-conceived offense, have played a well-conceived defensive game tonight. There have been few occasions in which Everett has had an opportunity to stand back there and use the strong arm that he's displayed in the 4 previous starts.
2nd and 14 from the 33. Montana off balance, and that's incomplete, intended for Joe Cribbs. Mike Wilcher defending. 3rd and 14.
And Gary Jeter in on Montana.
Funny thing about the Rams, if they lose, they would have to do what New England did last year, go in as a wild card and win 3 games on the road to get to the Super Bowl. And then think of the irony. If they can win 3 road games, they'd be home for the Super Bowl. In essence, up the freeway.
That's true.
Pasadena.
If I were them, I wouldn't plan that far ahead.
No. 3rd down and 14. Dropped by Cribbs.
Just trying to get out of this tonight with a little dignity.
Also, not only would the wild card team have to play all of its games on the road, the winner of the NFC West, let's say San Francisco right now, would have a week off. Then they know they'd have to play on the road. They'd either go to New York or Chicago, but then it's conceivable that if they win, that they could be back here for the NFC Championship game, assuming the wild card team wins on the weekend of January 3rd. Runniger to kick to Ellard. Good kick. 19. Ellard gets a nice block and then brings it back out to the 31-yard line. The block was thrown by Nolan Cromwell. 48-yard punt and a 13-yard return. 2:26 to play in the 3rd.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the...
And as a wild card, if nothing else, a little bit of history on Monday night. It's the Dolphins' final game ever in the Orange Bowl. From the 31-yard line, bad pass intended for Redden, 2nd down.
And New England has lost 16 regular season games consecutively to Miami down there. Of course, they won the AFC playoff game last year, so at least they know they can do it. Tough night for the youngster.
Yep, those are rookie statistics.
He is getting a lot of people right in his face every time he has had to go back. The 49ers now they're considering Dickerson, but he is not the major threat at the moment.
2nd and 10, and it's Dickerson. Slips a tackle and then goes out of bounds as he reaches the 38-yard line. Ricky Ellison gets credit for the tackle, and it will be 3rd down and 3 from the 38.
We mentioned earlier Dickerson in his rookie year had a couple of 100-yard plus games against the 49ers. He's never been since then over 100 yards. He's been up close, but he has truly been shut down tonight.
He's run for 100 or more in 8 of his last 9 games. Rams can't buy a first down on 3rd down. 3rd and 3. Everett on a roll. Throwing deep. Intercepted again. He overthrew Ellard, and it's McKyer picking it off. And another bad pass by Everett.
He's going to graduate school tonight. He had 4 or 5 weeks where he had time to throw the football, and he did some very special things, and he will be a fine quarterback down the line. But he is getting pressure. Ronnie Lott came up on a safety blitz. He rolled out, and then he got the pressure from Dwayne Board, who has played very well tonight, and throws again an ill-timed pass downfield. Just lobbed it up there. Picked off by McKyer, and the 49ers have it back once again.
1st and 10, San Francisco at the 16-yard line. 2:08 to go, 3rd period. 49ers lead by 17. Cribbs to the 23. So the Rams in desperate shape right now, looking ahead to a trip to Washington. And we talked about how teams have been hot for 3 and 4 week bursts right now. The Giants are the hottest, and as you look at the disparity in total yards, it's sort of like designer jeans. They get hot for about a month, and that's it.
They stay that way when you go into the playoffs, however. As long as you don't lose the key man with the injury, the emotion takes over, the adrenaline starts to flow, and those are the teams, particularly if they're playing well defensively. They are the ones with the best shot to take it all the way.
2nd and 2. And a first down for Craig. Out to the 27-yard line, and that'll keep that clock moving down toward the end of the period.
And again, the 49ers doing what they have to do. It's been a beautiful thing to watch if you happen to be a student of this game, and this man has just laid in an absolutely super game plan tonight. And it goes against the defense. He said, we are suited to the 49ers defense. He said it today. And I don't think he was chuckling behind a small smile, but he knew that his kind of offense works so well against the type of defense, and that is a kind of a zone defense. You set your running game first, you get that going, and that started right off for the 49ers. And then you start hitting those cracks with the high percentage completion pass. You hit the slant in, you hit the little back coming out of the backfield, and it has worked wonderfully well for the 49ers tonight.
Cribbs carrying on the last play. You saw that graphic. Walsh seems to have a better record than 68 and 51, doesn't he, when you think about it? But the reason, when you go back to his first couple of years, he inherited an abysmal team, and his teams were 2 and 14 and 6 and 10 in his first 2 years. Since then, a lot of success. Cribbs going out of bounds to stop the clock with 3 seconds to play in the period. Run out by Leroy Irvin.
And McIntyre out in front of it. And even though the Rams stretched it out, Cribbs was able to get around the corner and get good yardage out of it. His development has certainly helped, along with Roger Craig finally getting over a nagging hip injury. You can do so many things with both Cribbs and Craig in there together. They're both excellent receivers, and they are usually the checkoff receiver in the 49er scheme of things as it pertains to passing.
3rd and 3 from the 34. Craig takes it out to the 36-yard line, but he is shy of the first down, and thus on 4th and 1 will the 4th period begin. But at the end of 3, it's 24.
We found the goal!
But someone has to pay. Brooke Shields, Burgess Meredith. Trouble in Paradise. Wet goes Sunday.
To look at the imbalance through the first 3 quarters. 24 first downs for the 49ers, 8 of them coming on one drive.
Randy Cross has a pinched nerve, and the 49ers are makeshifting it tonight. They have moved Quillen, their center, to one guard. No, he stays on at center. They have brought in linebacker Farnhorst to play the left guard position on offense.
Jim Farnhorst will be spelling Cross as the 49ers to punt on 4th down and 1. Runniger down to the 16 and dropped by Ellard. And he brings it back out to the 21-yard line. 49-yard punt by Max Runniger and a 6-yard return, and the Rams trying to get something started. And all of the elation with the emergence of Everett and the way he has played, but tonight he has been truly welcomed into the National Football League. He was avoiding that welcome until now.
Well, it'll happen along the line to anyone who comes into this game. Farnhorst now double duty for the 49ers as he stays on at linebacker.
First down at the 21-yard line as Redden goes in motion. Everett steps up and fires to Ellard out at the 40-yard line for a first down. Ellard held out all preseason and then through much of the regular season. Didn't catch a pass in the first 2 games in which he played. He has signed a contract after a long dispute that pays him $10,000 a game. So they got him at pretty bargain basement rates, and he'll be a free agent at the end of the year.
Didn't catch a pass until 6 weeks ago, and he came into tonight as the Rams' leading receiver.
First and 10 after a 19-yard gain. Dickerson from the 40 out to the 42. Charles Haley makes the tackle. And again, the 49ers not giving Dickerson room. We mentioned earlier that he has not had big nights against the San Francisco defense, which has been bolstered this year by Haley's emergence. Dickerson through the years, decent nights and a decent per carry average against the 49ers, but again tonight they have been very much containing him. Second and 8. Redden to the 44-yard line for a short little gain, so they go underneath again, but it's still a 3rd down and 6 for the Rams.
49ers in a nickel defense, they're going to give you that in the 4th quarter, 24-7. They're going to give you a lot of things underneath. They're not going to give you a quick one. Not going to give you an easy one. They'll give you a lot of things underneath, and Everett should be able to work on his stats a little bit, but he'll have a tough time getting anything up on top.
3rd and 6. Everett deflected. Jeff Fuller. 4th down, and the Rams are 1 for 10 in 3rd down conversions.
They love it. It's all they were talking about this week here in San Francisco.
Don Griffin back at his 15. Hatcher. Fair catch called for, and it takes a sideways bounce, a good Ram bounce, and is down at the 9-yard line. 48-yard punt. Griffin hopeful it would go into the end zone. Wasn't to be, but still a 17-point 49er cushion. Little Nouvelle cuisine.
Very professionally done. We need to get the mint jelly a little closer to the lamb is what somebody has to do around here.
49ers and the Rams. A great rivalry. Going back some 4 decades.
Look at some of the great names. The McElhinney's, the Perrys, Dan Towler, Tank Youngers.
First down from the 8-yard line as Montana retreats, and Montana throws complete to Dwight Clark.
Montana, Clark.
Yep. Through the years. And John Brody, long-time 49er quarterback.
102,000, wasn't it, in 1957, when it was really a heated rivalry between the two, and that was at mid-season.
That was when the Rams were playing in the LA Coliseum, and you could put a six-figure crowd in there. 102,368 for the Rams and the 49ers in 57 in LA. First down at the 26-yard line. Craig, no gain, second down and 10. All right, Frank, I know you like the Giants, obviously. What about in the AFC, though?
Denver has got to be awfully tough. They're an emotional team with an emotional quarterback. They are never going to be out of one. And if you stay close, but I can also remember Mike Ditka a few days ago telling us, watch out for Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland, they've just been there quietly sleeping, and now we're going to learn a lot about them.
Browns have been silently very steady.
Cross is back in the game, by the way, right guard.
Second and 10, and it's caught out at the 30-yard line by Joe Cribbs, and it will be third down and 5.
Your thoughts?
I agree with you in terms of Denver. I think Denver is the best team in the AFC. They've been erratic. If Elway is on, they're going to be extremely tough to beat. But if I had to pick a team from the AFC to get to the Super Bowl, that would be the one.
And if you think that the Giants might also get there, we think back to the game in which the Giants just blew Denver away. They went right straight at them, using 3 tight ends, ran all over them.
Third down and 5 from the 31-yard line. Krebs gets rolled down. Our crack crew, Ken Wolf and Chet Forty, are predicting an Indianapolis Green Bay showdown in Pasadena.
That'll be a showdown.
Yeah. We got to get him some newspapers.
The big thing is Vinny Testaverde. Who's going to get him?
Yeah. Looks like Tampa Bay at the moment anyway. If they lose to St. Louis on Sunday, they clinch. Ellard stands back at his 26-yard line as Runniger gets set to punt. And a fair catch at the 30. So the Rams get the ball back, but they've been unable to do anything. 38-yard kick, 10:23 to play at Candlestick Park. Rams have the football at their own 30-yard line against a very tough 49er defense, which has responded tonight in a pressure game, and the 49ers are 10:23 away from getting a week off and thinking about 1987 and a playoff game the weekend of January 3rd. Dickerson cuts it back, stopped by Roberts and Haley.
Joe Gibbs is pulling out the Rams video.
If the Rams lose, again, they would go to Washington. Then if they were to win that game, if the Rams were to win the wild card game, they would then take on the Giants, assuming the Giants win tomorrow and clinch a home field. And the 49ers would go to Chicago. But if Washington won the wild card game, they'd go to Chicago, and the 49ers would go to New York. Dickerson out to the 39-yard line. And again in the AFC, the funny thing about the AFC is how everything will take place over an extended period, because there's a very big game tomorrow, Denver and Seattle. Then the other 3 key games in the AFC on Sunday, leading to perhaps the most key of all, the Monday night game, New England and Miami.
Well, New England has to win. And should they lose it, the Jets, even with their loss to Cincinnati, with 5 straight losses, would win the division.
On 3rd and 1, it's Dickerson in need of the first down, but there's a penalty marker down.
Tough night for Eric Dickerson. 11 100-yard games into the night, looking for the 12th to tie his own record he set in 1984.
Dick Jorgensen is the referee.
Offsides, number 94, defense, lined up in the neutral zone. First down.
Charles Haley. And a first down now at the 44-yard line. 9:04 to go in the fourth. Rams 119 yards tonight at New Orleans back on the 9th of November. They were beaten soundly. And they lost that game. Well, they weren't beaten that soundly, but they lost 6-0. For Hill, who makes the catch. And he's down at the 22. So the tight end, David Hill, they were throwing to him early and then forgot about him, and now come back his way.
Well, they give him absolutely little or no respect. They were trying to cover him with the linebacker all the way, and he was wide open. As you can see, trying to stay with him was Ricky Ellison. Dave Hill used to be a great receiver with Detroit. He caught over 70 passes there a few years ago, and he's turned into just a blocking tight end with the Rams. He was wide open.
First down from the 23-yard line. Barry Redden slips down and gets out of bounds at about the 13-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 1 with 8:09 to play in the fourth. 24-7 San Francisco. Niners led 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. 17-7 at the half. 24-7 at the end of 3. And that's where we are right now. 2nd and 1. Dickerson for a loss. Blaine Board fought off the blocking and got in there.
Ford's having a big night, along with Ellison. They have been in Dickerson's face all night long. Take a look at it again. Board getting away from the block of Pankey, number 75, and banging in to Dickerson for the loss. Now Everett will have to put it up in the air.
3rd down 4. Michael Young in the game. He and Ellard are both wide left. And again, an off-balance, terrible throw with nobody remotely close. Keena Turner put the pressure on. Everett's been spending the whole night throwing from his heels.
Consider the conception of the 49er offense, though. They always have somebody when you get in trouble. When Montana gets in trouble, he has somebody he instantly can turn to. Granted, he's been doing it a lot of years. He knows the Walsh system. But Everett really had one man in mind. It was Redden coming out of the backfield. He was well covered. He had nowhere to go with it. His one man was covered. He looked at him all the way, and he had to throw it away. Now on 4th down, they go up again.
4th and 4, and this may be the ball game here for the Rams at the 17. To Ellard. Can't make the catch. Don Griffin busted the play up. And Jeff Fuller blitzing from his safety spot to pressure Everett.
That forced Griffin into single coverage with the blitz. Let's watch it. Ellard against the rookie from Middle Tennessee. Now Griffin looks him right in the eyes. He knows when to go up. Could have been called face guarding. It wasn't. The timing was just almost right. It did not draw the flag, but that one was ever so close. Look at it again. Ellard was there. Griffin got his hands in and stripped it away.
You're right. It could have been called. From the 17-yard line, Montana for Rice. Broken up. Pass a little bit behind him, and Jerry Gray was with him step for step. 2nd down. So the 49ers with a 17-point lead, and you would think they would think about keeping it on the ground and running out the clock, but leave it to Walsh to do the last thing you think of.
That's what he usually does, and I'm sure that Walsh is thinking the Rams are thinking that they are going to keep it on the ground. He thought he could get the single coverage perhaps and get Rice on a sprint by and totally lock this thing up with 7 minutes to go, and as if they don't have it locked up already, because you look at the Rams and they've been totally ineffectual on offense, been able to do nothing.
2nd and 10 from the 17-yard line, and Craig takes it out to the 21. And it will be 3rd down and about 6 coming up.
I know it's going to come up throughout the weekend, and that is, why don't you take your big people out? Why don't you take Montana out of this game right now? Well, it isn't the way it's done, and I think maybe Bill Parcells of the Giants said it so clearly the other day. He said, we're going to go and play our football game. We're going to play it to win the game. We're going to play it with the people that got us there, and if we lose them, so be it. And that's kind of how you have to go. You change gears totally if you change, particularly if you change a quarterback. They might take him out on a final series, I don't know, but they're going to leave him in there for now.
3rd and 6, and it's incomplete. And also the game is not over. It's 24-7, and the Rams aren't showing anything. But with 6:25 to go and a 17-point lead, you don't start removing your big people in a key game like this.
I remember a couple of weeks ago, they were up by 17. I don't think Bill Walsh will ever forget it.
And it didn't take the Giants very long to erase it. Runiger with Ellard back at his own 40-yard line. Low kick. And the 49ers get a break on the bounce as Ellard couldn't come up to make the play. And it rolls down to the 32-yard line. Turns out to be a 47-yard non-work of art.
Waiter, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light, the less filling light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else is just a light.
Gosh, Clark, we've got to get back to the office and call London before the meeting's over. Taxi!
With the AT&T card, your people have the power to handle business better.
Taxi, taxi!
From anywhere to anywhere.
Come on, Clark.
It's okay, Lo. Everything's taken care of.
You always disappear in an emergency.
Order the AT&T card.
We carry it all here at ABC. We've got a little basketball, a little football.
That's right. Baseball.
A little baseball in there.
A little juggling on Wide World of Sports.
49ers all on the bench congratulating themselves already. Great comeback for this team. They were struggling in midseason. Montana out for 8 weeks with spinal disc surgery. Eric Wright, they were going with a lot of rookie players in there.
Dickerson on 1st and 10 gets it out to the 34 for a gain of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 8. 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
While they've taken the run away from the Rams, they have also taken the passing game away from Jim Everett, who came on 5 weeks ago, actually 6 weeks ago in the New England game, and was spectacular in that. Showed great poise and presence last week to bring the Rams back after they were down 14 points in the 3rd quarter. But tonight, he's been harassed all over the field.
2nd and 8. Hill was falling down as the ball got there. 3rd and 8 now.
Still covering Hill with the linebacker. Ricky Ellison, wherever Hill goes, Ricky Ellison's going. '49ers defense thinking now, just don't give up anything big. Now they're showing blitz.
On 3rd down and 8. Fired to Ellard. That's a 1st down at the 45 of San Francisco, and it's only the 2nd 3rd down conversion for the Rams tonight. They're 2 out of 12.
That time the 49ers came up to the line as if they were going to come with a blitz, even a safety blitz. They backed out of it, and even with the 4-man rush, Everett was in trouble. Had to step out, almost had to run until he could spot Ellard downfield. He has not been protected tonight.
1st and 10 at the San Francisco 46-yard line. Everett throws an out pattern complete to Michael Young, who makes his first catch. Don Griffin covering on the play, and the former UCLA star who's caught only 1 ball in the last 7 games in there now and picking up a 1st down.
That's what the youngster can do, Jim Everett, when he gets a little time to throw the football. Beautifully thrown ball. He has a strong arm. big, 6'5", 212, and when you give him time to throw the ball, he can really zip it. He gets a little rattled, as you might suspect. And this is first year when you put any kind of pressure on him.
1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Redden inside the 20 and bumped out of bounds at the 13-yard line by Carlton Williams, and the last man between Redden and the end zone.
Redden, of course, has turned into primarily a blocking back with Eric Dickerson, but he came up a #1 draft pick the year before from Richmond. A great running back when he came up. Breaking tackles and showing the talent that he does have as a running back. There have been, of course, a lot of comments that he would like to move on to some other team where he could use that talent. But he is a major asset to the Rams, particularly when they can run. And that has not been the case tonight, however.
1st and 10 from the 13, fired for Ellard and incomplete. And he was sandwiched in between Don Griffin and Ronnie Lott. 2nd down.
Griffin has played superb defense tonight. Let's watch him again. When you're down close to the goal line, like the 15-yard line, you got to play a man tight. And there he is. You got a hand in, and that was beautifully done. They are getting a lot of mileage out of 2 rookies on the corner. Griffin on the right corner, McKyer on the other corner.
2nd and 10 LA from the 13-yard line. He looked first toward Ellard, then goes the other way, and a touchdown as Young makes the catch. And a nice play by Everett, a good catch, but he was looking at Ellard and he was covered, and then he goes to a secondary receiver, and the Rams are very much in it with 4.5 to play.
Give him the time, and he does look brilliant. Let's look again. A quick snapshot at Ellard. Spots the man wide open in the corner and fires it in for the touchdown. Tim McKyer on the coverage. Again, when you throw an out with that kind of velocity, you know you've got a strong arm. They're going to apparently look at it to see if it was in bounds.
Yep.
The official, the play stands. Touchdown.
Good play by Young to somehow get down, to get his feet down, and here it is on the reverse angle.
On the reverse angle, you really see it. A lot of concentration. First, get the ball. Now drag those toes. No question.
Yep. Lansford puts it through, and all of a sudden it's 24-14 with 4.5 minutes to play. And now, if you're
that have been collected in the NFL this season, well, you can see for yourself. It's not a very judicious thing. And the big boys who usually are there, they sit it out. They drop 1 man back. They're fairly sure the Rams will come with the onside kick. But then again, they might not. Plenty of time remaining, and they have 3 timeouts.
The big hands people up front. And Lansford attempts the onside kick. And the 49ers have it at the LA 49-yard line. And it's John Frank, the tight end, who recovers it. So that's when your special team becomes an extra special team. You want the guys who can catch the ball in there.
They're the ones. And now the surgeon comes back out. He'll try to run some time off of that clock. And who better to do it?
Last week, the Rams found themselves down by 10 in the latter stages of the 4th quarter, and were able to catch up as a fumble at the 47-yard line draws a big crowd.
Rams are saying they have it.
We'll wait for Jorgensen, and they do. All of a sudden, as it begins to rain, and the ball is perhaps a little slippery, it's Cribbs, who is no stranger to fumbles, with Sean Miller wrapping it up. In fact, of the 3 active backs with the most fumbles per carry, career-wise, you've got them all in the game tonight.
Never had it. The ball never got in on the handoff. Bounced off his shoulder on the exchange from Montana. And the Rams now 24-14 down, 4:14 remaining.
1st and 10 LA from the 48-yard line. And Everett gets sacked back at the 37. Charles Haley, the rookie out of James Madison.
What a year this youngster has had. His 12th sack of the season. There's only 1 rookie ahead of him in sacks, and he's on the injured reserve. That is Leslie O'Neal down of San Diego. But a picked Charles Haley in the draft as a 4th-round draft pick. He was a linebacker, James Madison, and he has turned into the 49ers' best pass rusher.
2nd and 20 from the 38. Everett fires over the middle and hits Hill at the 49, so they're back near the original line of scrimmage. Haley goes back there, or he comes out of the game now. He comes limping out. It will be 3rd down and 9.
Good move, good call by the Rams. Get some of it back. You're in a 4-down offense at the moment. You have a 3rd down and 8, but you're not even thinking of turning it over on the 4th down. You got 2 downs to get your first.
Eller to the left and Young to the right. 3rd and 9. Everett steps up, throws, incomplete. Jeff Fuller got his hands on it and deflected it away as Everett threw into a pack. 3:12 now to play. 4th down and 9.
Everett again scrambling around back there, trying to find a receiver that was open. Credit the 49er defense. They're in their nickel defense. They have 6 defensive backs in there at the moment. They don't get much of a pass rush off this, but they get excellent coverage.
Fuller's had a sack and 2 deflections tonight. On 4th and 9 from the 49. Nobody there.
Oh, make it close if you're going to do it at all. Granted, he was harassed by Stover.
Intended for Young, but he was 10 yards from the pass.
What you're seeing is the education of Jim Everett. And the 49ers, while they had a marvelously conceived offensive game plan, have played superb football on defense. When they have not been in Everett's face on a pass rush, they have dropped off and provided great coverage and really have given him very little in which to work with.
So the 49ers get the ball back, and the fumble doesn't prove costly, and Craig will wrap both arms around it and just hang on. Under 3 minutes now. Each team has all of its timeouts remaining, and the Rams will have to begin to think about using them on defense pretty soon. 2nd down and 9.
And Montana will be very leisurely about coming out of the huddle. He'll keep his eye on the 30-second clock in the corner of the end zone. He'll snap the foot to win the Eastern Division of the AFC.
2nd and 9 from the 48-yard line. Cribbs gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down. And the Rams now have to take a timeout to Chicago. Assuming the Bears do not win and the Giants lose tomorrow. Anyway, let's just assume that the Giants win tomorrow against Green Bay and get the home field advantage.
They got to play Washington.
Right.
If they win. So if Washington wins, they are off to Chicago. And the 49ers, who do not necessarily like to play against the Giants. You'll recall a year ago they lost to the Giants in the playoffs in Giants Stadium. And of course at that time it wasn't known till later that Joe Montana was suffering from some very severely bruised ribs. So it could be a different story should that develop.
Third down and 9 for the 49ers at the 49-yard line. Neither team has done well as Montana hits Craig, and Craig gets inside the 40 to the 31-yard line for a first down.
Making sure that he stayed in bounds, so he'll tick off those final seconds down to the 2-minute warning. Big game for Roger Craig. No hip problem anymore. He is that extra special thing to the 49er offense. Great runner, top receiver. He does so many things.
So the issue is clear.
2 minutes to go, anticipating a celebration. The police have... I recognize that nag on the right. I had him in the 3rd in Hollywood last week. Well, that's what happened to him. All right.
One of Gene Klein's 2-year-olds.
First down, 49ers at the Ram 30-yard line. Cribbs gets 1. 2nd and 9. The Rams can stop the clock twice thanks to the 5 o'clock start.
I like the 5 o'clock start myself. And you can just quickly run down the AFC playoff picture again, Al.
Are you sure I can? Well, what we can tell you is this. Again, in the AFC, 2nd and 8. As Craig blasts his way to a first down inside the 20-yard line. And that will write a finish to this one.
I don't think the Rams want to stop it another time. They're going to. They're going to stop it enough time for the 49ers to put some more points up there.
So there it is now. The Rams.
Hey, I know this one.
Oh, yeah. This is, you got it. The Rams go to Washington. If Washington wins that game, then Washington would play Chicago. But if the Rams won that game, then the Rams would in all likelihood play the Giants in New York the weekend of January 3rd. And the 49ers would go to Chicago. And that's the way it will wind up in the NFC West.
Remarkable comeback by the 49ers. We watched them in midseason. They were struggling. Montana was out with a spinal disc surgery. They lost Jeff Kemp for a period of time. Wershing was off to a very bad start. And they were struggling on defense, and all of a sudden the development of Charles Haley, the rookie Jerry Rice, turned into an absolute phenom. Carter got well, the middle nose tackle. He had been suffering all season long with an ankle. And what has to happen if you're going to do well in the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl, and this man knows better than anyone, he's won a couple of them since he arrived here in '79, is you've got to get healthy, you've got to be playing great defense, and the 49ers have certainly exhibited that tonight. Not to mention an offense that was absolutely perfectly designed for a Ram type of defense, a containing type of defense. They won't give you the big one. 49ers took one in a long shot to Jerry Rice tonight, but the Rams ordinarily will not give you much deep. They'll keep hacking at you, try to get the turnover. And tonight, the 49ers just took what they gave them. They took a little bit here, a little bit there, flipped it out to Cribbs, flipped it out to Craig. Fired Craig up the middle. They were able to run the football. And it was an absolutely brilliantly designed offense.
Well, 49ers, who were fighting for a playoff spot a couple of weeks ago, they had that terribly demoralizing loss to the Giants, but then rebounded to beat the Jets, and then beat New England last week in a must-win game for them. There's a measurement here for the first down at the request of the Rams, and the 49ers knew it was a first down anyway. And that will just write an official end to this one as the 49ers can run out the clock. But the 49ers with that victory over the Giants, or the victory over the Jets rather, followed by the win over New England, and now tonight. And all of a sudden the Rams, who looked like they were in such great shape, find themselves in a spot where they're going to have to win 3 road games to get to the Super Bowl. And good luck winning in Washington, Chicago, and/or New York, the NFC Championship game, since both go to the playoffs. And John Robinson, Doug Krikorian calls him Jolly John Robinson, but he's anything but right now.
And hurting tonight, too. It was questionable whether he could even be at the stadium. He has a very sore lower back. Optimist all the way, John Robinson. He'll try to pull things together, but he also must have some great memories about 1983 at a playoff game in Washington. The Rams lost that one 51-7.
Monday Night Football, produced by Ken Wolf, our director, Chet Forty, technical director, Joe Chavo, Rob Biner, our associate director, Rick Okolsky, our technical manager, unit manager, Marshall Lopez, telecommunications manager, Frank Fieger, Chaz Wiseman, Bruce Clark, the assistants to the producer, research and information, Steve Hurt. Up here with us, George Hill, Malibu, Kelly Hayes, and that's the end of the ball game from San Francisco, where the 49ers have won the NFC West. A week off, and then it's on to Chicago and New York.
Good friends, wishing each other well.
So the final score again from Candlestick Park, 49ers 24, Rams 14. And this ABC Sports exclusive has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. and by Sony, the one and only. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford saying good night from San Francisco. There's Ed DiBartolo congratulating his 49ers. Travel arrangements made through. Promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. Nobody knows Hawaii like United. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. We'll visit with you from Miami on Monday.